Hello everyone, this is General Hand Grenade. Welcome to the Lion's Den at an undisclosed location in Prince George, British Columbia. We are, where are we? We're latter half of 1944, right? No, it can't be.
Yep, we're January 45 next turn.
No.
Yep.
Anyway, we're almost done, so like we got 3 turns left including this one. But it's the Americans' turn right now, and as you can see here, we've got the fleet markers against each other, and these other guys that are out here, they're attacking the land if the American fleet defeats the Japanese fleet. And you can see there's about 150 dice down here that are going. You only hit them twice?
5 times.
Oh,
Or
5
6.
times. Okay.
7.
Did you get any targeted hits or anything?
Depends.
No, sub missed. Sub is doing. These guys are targeted, so you have to roll. You have to roll these guys separate than this guy, right? So these guys, you can pick your hits. The black ones?
Yeah. But I was supposed to roll them separately for the...
Yeah, like, because this guy doesn't get to pick.
Okay.
So, I'd say at least you get to pick one of them because, you know, the other one we'll say is this guy. So you can pick one of his hits there. But it has to be a boat, though. It can't be a plane. And then also, your planes, if you shot his plane, shoot his planes, right? So what were they? White?
Yeah.
And you missed. Oh, so you have to lose at least
but
one.
But that was
plane.
also a cruiser, so I rolled a cruiser in there.
Oh. Yeah. Do you have any plane hits?
No, I just have.
Okay. Anyway, so we're going out of here. Fast and Furious. Let's just set this up. Let these guys duke it out.
Alright, so I guess I have to choose a ship. I guess I'll just choose a destroyer. I mean, doesn't really matter. He doesn't have any battleships.
Yeah, like that's the highest roll for you. You're trying to kill. Like these things here, it'd be nice to kill them, but
I plan to kill them.
right? So go ahead.
Alright.
I'm gonna get over here.
So how many hits? 4?
4 and nothing targeted. No, they're destroyers.
Shoot.
So you could take
hits on those?
yeah, you could take hits on those things because he doesn't have much to come after you with afterwards.
I'll take hits on all 3.
Okay, and then and then lose 1.
Yep.
Sub?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what do I need to?
So you got 1 destroyer, and then you have 6 more.
6 more.
One thing you could do is take a hit on yours as well, right?
The 1.
15th of March,
Black.
1940.
So let's say
The Russians can never become dangerous.
And actually, so you see right here, this thing here. So he starts here, and then he's damaged here. So that should have rolled a 2 instead of a 1.
Okay. Whatever.
I think you rolled a 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And I guess so that's 2, and I need 5 more.
Hitler, with his Eastern Front secured by Stalin, launched his blitzkrieg to the west.
Alrighty.
The German army sliced through
So the planes aren't killing planes anymore. That's just the first round. Air superiority. So grays are 4.
Hits. 8. That's a lot of battleship misses. That's a targeted, not that matters. Targeted. That's a miss.
The gray 4 is a hit.
That's a hit.
And the gray 3.
Yeah, the gray 4.
And the gray 3.
Gray 3.
And that's it?
Yep.
So 2, 4, 6, and 2 of them are targeted. So what are you going to target them? Those 2, so just put them there, yeah.
No, not yet.
Yeah, you still get to roll them.
Well, that's a hit, right? Because it's not. Oh, did you damage it?
It's damaged, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. would have been hit last time. So this, no, no hits there.
For here. Looks like that's about it.
Wow. That's what I say. So 3 hits on you.
Should take him on the battleships?
Up to you, man.
Yeah, I mean,
He wanted a rest from conquest, and reverting to his old instincts, peace with Britain.
yeah, I'll take on the battleships. They're old
Okay.
and stuff.
So when you do that, then you have to move your battleships over here to this one.
Italian
Yeah.
Count Galeazzo Ciano was also observed Hitler's statements.
So the green dice goes over. All right.
Mixed mainly recognition from the
And what do you got? You got 4 more hits over here.
to be an important
Technically, I can take those out.
Yeah.
'Cause my planes
Oh
can
yeah.
still be there.
Absolutely.
now like the gambler
4 hits is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you
4
can
plus
land your
2.
planes on the land, right?
So I might as well keep them, and these 2 are gone.
Alrighty.
Feared that Hitler
Another round. Take out your.
Yeah, I just moved the marker over. So I know they're rolling at 1 less.
We don't need to now, right? Let's just make them both gray.
What you got?
That's a hit. That's a hit. That's not a hit.
this was allowed the Nazi soldiers.
Fighters, bombers suck.
The white hits there. There's 3 of them.
3 hits. So that's 5 more hits. So, yeah, 5.
2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
Is that enough?
No, I have
Nope.
7.
So you probably still have 2 fighters.
1940.
2, 3,
Actually, you only got 6 there.
what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, the dude is on the land.
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay.
At precisely this moment, Stalin's duel with Hitler.
You never hit anything anyways
Yeah.
in the whole roll, but unless you want me to reroll.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
So this one was a hit, but I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was.
So it's 5.
Yeah. And the 4.
Wow, good shot.
Good shooting. Well, I think I'll,
Lose the destroyers.
yeah.
Stalin did not try.
Does a cruiser have 2 HP?
To show Hitler his
What?
Does cruisers have 2 HP?
Churchill's approach to Berlin.
Do they have 2 hits?
No, they're not capital ships. So what else? Yeah,
Take a,
lose one more.
hit, take a hit in Iowa?
Yeah, you can do that. So he goes down to 8.
Stalin capacity
Yeah.
in Romania. Churchill's.
So he's only got 1 left.
Okay, 1 and the guy, I guess.
Well, the
Yeah,
guy,
the guy's still there. He's not. You haven't fought him yet.
you haven't fought the land battle.
You've just got a fighter left.
Yeah, they can't do that. I got to take it back and make it take it.
Just roll your Iowa, see if you get
You
him.
were good.
Oh.
There.
Yep.
Okay, he got you. So roll for a 6. Missed.
We have it here.
Okay, that's over.
That's a lot of damn ships.
So now at the land, you've got carpet bombing with your heavy bomber.
Yeah, let's just roll that.
No, we got 8. Wow.
Nope.
Missed.
Alright, so how many Marines do I have?
You got 2, 4, 6,
Elite.
6 elite Marines. Is that a mountain or no?
Does it look like it?
Okay. So 6 elite Marines and 2 Marines.
Turns Berlin into a hero's welcome.
So here we go.
It's
Yeah,
enough.
He riddled you with bullets, and that's a miss.
And that.
Remember Wake Island.
There we are.
And I think that's 5.
So
1, 2.
I will grab your ships for you.
This tank? Yeah. So this tank was in Warsaw. Easter Poland, yeah.
General title. Called him
Yeah, Easter Poland, Bessarabia, and where else?
Actually, I'll let you
I
do
guess
that.
that's all.
I'm going to go along with this.
Yeah, just let you get there. That's all I can do. I don't have anything else.
So, what's happened here? The FEC is pushed all the way up into here with their blitz ability
He began to convince himself
Yeah, they were able to get up to there. So the Japanese,
and Churchill.
they don't have much in behind there. Like all those are militia. The only thing that he could attack me with is this here.
After the day of glory
So
of Berlin,
he did manage to take out that American sub that had taken a few bucks off him there.
I think it must have been
And
10.
then I went with a kamikaze sort of style attack with 5 Anzac subs against that Navy that you just saw there. And not one of them hit. And Carl, the crazy Japanese guy, killed them all in one shot. So that was kind of useless. There's a big change here. Like the Germans broke out and into the Middle East there. I think we talked about that happening at the end of the last video, and that's indeed what he did. So now I guess he's coming down here against me. Dirty, I mean, nice move.
later that day,
And then
nation from the United
nothing else happened over here, I guess. Oh, some stuff happened in there. Like these guys, those guys were doing some convoying. That sub there. I lost my tide generator there. I rolled a 12 in the Barbie doll house there. So I lost the tide generator. But he also lost a destroyer. I took him out with a plane there. Now, nothing happened over here except for some carpet bombing. They carpet bombed and killed an anti-aircraft guy. But over here, what happened over here, Patrick King?
Like last year? Or
Yeah, this turn today.
We did a few attacks. I think I took Minsk and Belarus, but then he took them back, and then he also moved forces into Eastern Poland. So I'm going to try to take Eastern Poland back. And I'm also attacking from Romania into Bessarabia. And aside from that, he did take Latvia too. And I just don't have the forces to repel it, so I'm just going to be on the defensive there in the north. And then I'm attacking Atlantis and attacking there and Transcaucasia. So I think it's over five attacks.
Alrighty.
And that's it.
And these guys over here, they were thinking about fighting each other, but they couldn't get any of us to hold their purses for them, so they just decided not to fight each other. Anyway, we'll be back after the next round. Okay, so we're back in the lines then. We played just about 2 rounds yesterday, and then we quit. That was Sunday, and now today is Monday, which is a solemn day, not just in Canada, but in many parts of the world where we commemorate. It's called different things in different places. We call it Armistice Day or Remembrance Day in Canada. I know in America they call it Veterans Day, and wherever you are, I'm sure you have a name for it as well. But it seems kind of fitting that my friends and I today are playing our last round in this game, and then there will be peace after that. So finishing the game on Remembrance Day for us is a bit of a coincidence. We didn't plan it that way, but probably fitting as well. We can go back to being friends again afterwards and not enemies like we have been for the past, what has it been, 6 weeks or so. But the weird thing is though that we're not really enemies and we're not really fighting, you know, like we play this game, but I think that most people that play these types of games, whether it's this one or Axis and Allies or similar type games, is that we're amateur historians, and that's why we enjoy this type of game as opposed to something else with wizards or, you know, snakes or something. You know, like it's something that we're interested in, and so I don't think it's lost on any of us that people actually died, and it's not just a bunch of dice that are rolling around on boards. It's bullets flying and bombs exploding, and that's something that's quite different from what we do. But when we commemorate a day like today, and we do every year, and we don't celebrate it here in Canada. I don't know what it's like where you are, but in Canada we commemorate it, and it's a solemn day, and it's a day of remembrance. Literally, we wear poppies because poppies grew in Flanders fields where many Canadians found their final resting place after World War I. That was supposed to be the end of all wars, the war to end all wars, but as we all know, that this war came after that, and many others did, and some continue to be fought right now, smaller ones. But it's important that we all take a minute just when we're playing these games, especially today, to think about the people that gave their lives so that we could actually just play games. You know, we're not out on a battlefield, we're in our friend's garage or in our basements or wherever we're playing these games, and so we can be thankful for that. Unfortunately, World War I wasn't the end of all war, but here we are. Anyway, so when I come back, I'll recap what happened in the last turn, and then we'll get to our very last turn in this game. All right, so it's July 1945. So Panzer King's heading down to the bunker with his best gal there and his favorite gun. We're not sure what they're going to do down there. I think he's a pervert, but we'll find out. Of course, that would be the truth, but in our alternate history, that's Berlin over there on that blue card, so it's unlikely that he's going to have to shoot himself in the head in this game. But what's happened here? So you see the fleet marker there, that's this American fleet here. So they've moved up and taken, is that Guam?
Yep.
Yeah, Guam over there, that island there. So, taking back their territories. You see the Japanese fleet there, and you see the Americans. The Americans have got them boxed in here. And there's only one turn, so the Japanese can't go any further than that in this game now. Would have been nice to take the Japanese fleet out this game, but we didn't get that far. We did manage to take out the fleet here. We meaning my partner. But I take all the credit for it. Anyway, so that's done. So you also look, you see there's an American battleship there, and there's one here that he can't possibly reach, and there's only one Japanese battleship. So we know that we're going to get 1 point out of this game, and we're hoping we get more than that. With Japanese, after I left, we had from the American Minorities of War a chip there that said that he get to give him 2 planes, and also he was able to give him the Flying Tigers fighter. So the Chinese all of a sudden have 3 planes there from the Americans. So that's something that I've never seen before. Just because the British in the last turn had taken this territory back and given the Chinese a breath of life. And we figured out that Uncle Joe there had been forgetting to take the communist turn for the last 5 or 6 turns. So that sucks for him. He probably could have taken most of the Japanese out of there by now. So Panzer King is on his way through Africa here instead of the Middle East. He made a choice to go after me instead of Uncle Joe there. I think he's scared of Uncle Joe, scared of getting killed in the night. I don't blame him though. This guy goes on here. There we go. Looks like the British are the only people that got anything in South America. So I'm going to claim the whole thing as my own. I know there's lots of bikinis down there, and so I'm okay with that. I'm gonna run with it. Here, let's put these American planes back on. Now over here, I was pretty excited because when I left here yesterday, I had taken West Germany out and only lost 1 unit, and then I get a text when I got home that oh, I forgot to roll my 150 Volkstrom and militia. So then we just finished that this morning, and it turns out I lost a bunch of planes instead. And he kept West Germany. So that sucked balls. And the Americans, they were going to drop their guys in behind me there, but that didn't happen. So they took Netherlands instead, because Netherlands was easy to take. But the British, they do have some units there to take another run. The Americans got some units to take another run on the last turn. It's up to Mr. Hitler here with his gun in his bunker and his girl to figure out what they're going to do next. And the Eastern Front, are you going to fight on the Eastern Front too, or are you scared of us?
I'm going everywhere.
Yeah, you gotta try to get your points now. Last chance, romance. Too bad you didn't have any boats. You could go up here to
True.
Scandinavia.
Or some airborne. But they're all in the south.
Yeah, you can't reach that far? Nobody's at an airport?
Turkey does not have an airport, and the airborne's in Atlantis.
Oh, look at this. 101 years after the end of the First World War, we found a fallen potato chip. Lest we forget. So, what's going on over here? Now, this border war, I assume Carl's going to want to attack as much as possible because that is worth a point too. Did you study up on your points, Carl? He's looking like points. Where's my card? Yep. I'm not going to tell you then. You're going to have to look it up. But I assume there's going to be some action here on this border since it's the last turn. We'll find out. Uncle Joe hasn't arrived yet, so we can plot against him all we want. Commies.
Major attacks were often launched not with any guard signs, but by shot hunters of the infantry who would be thrown to defences in past times to create gaps which the elite units would then exploit. Often the shock armies were themselves spearheaded.
Geez, you really don't have much there on the Eastern Front, do you?
No, not much. I've been preparing for you.
Do you want me to hold your purse for you?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Their missions were usually suicide.
But I think I'm going to attack you guys in the Netherlands.
Excellent. Make sure you bring aircraft.
I am going to.
He's gonna attack your special aircraft ship there.
Oh wow.
Those are dudes.
Yeah, I know.
What's going on?
What's going on? Is Mongolia part of China?
No, Mongolia is a separate place. Why?
Reasons.
Because you wanted to bomb it?
Oh, for victory points.
Oh, I see. Anyway. Oh yeah.
Hitler's insistence, under-strength divisions that should have been merged were retained as independent entities, carrying a heavy burden of administration and logistical support.
You know what? This German torpedo boat destroyer there, he could go over and take and attack that Italian destroyer. The German torpedo boat destroyer, he could attack the Italian destroyer.
Okay.
You say, this is what you get for not fighting hard enough.
Pretty good.
Going out and, what do you mean pretty good? They only took one territory the whole game.
What? What territory? Abyssinia?
Did I go up 2 or did Netherlands go up by 2?
I did, yeah, I put it up there.
Okay. It's up to 64 now.
Plus 12.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so, yeah, I guess, yeah, there's no point in you even spending your money.
Get a bunch of tech.
Yeah.
Influence everyone.
Yeah, I'm loaded up on the first stage of everything. You can't roll more than 1 dice on each tech per turn. Otherwise, you could just take your money and just keep rolling, right?
Well, did you see that Italy's building a battleship?
Who is?
Italy.
Oh, that starts at the beginning of the game.
But he's going to be placed units next turn for
No
quite
way.
a victory point. Haven't seen the Russia card?
Probably in the Russia thing.
I'll just find it.
It should be, nope, not there. Huh? Weird.
Allied bombers were systematically hammered at German oil
What else?
the occupation.
No airbase. I don't think you can reach. The jet fighter could though, unless I want to use him on that front. No, I think I'll pull him there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have an airbase, so you can go 9, right? So yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can't do it.
4 more left. 4 more. What do you mean you can't do it?
Well, you said 5.
The
didn't
jet
you?
fighter can go 8 plus
No.
the airbase, but
No,
not.
no. Jet fighter's just a fighter, man. You're talking about a heavy bomber.
Oh yeah, jet aircraft only move 4.
Nice try though.
Oh, so it moved 6, 7, so you can still make it.
Jet fighter?
Yeah,
Your jet fighters move 6?
yeah. So it's
No,
7
they're
with an
supposed to move
airbase.
4.
It says 6 right there to move.
Mine says 4. Oh yeah, sure.
Isn't that the point
Yeah,
of jet
that's
fighter?
a mistake there. On all of the cards, there's 4.
Okay.
Which is more correct.
So I guess there's no point in ever buying a jet fighter then.
Well,
no, actually, they're worth the money. Yeah,
I mean-
see, they're 4 everywhere except for that one spot.
Okay, well that's what I was going by from that whole game because that's where the jet fighters are.
ran a fuel.
Whatever, it's fine. Okay.
They should be 5 though, I think.
Well, either way, you can go 5, but
And they only cost 2 more than a normal fighter.
Yeah,
And attack and defend +2, so
yeah. So that's more than worth it.
they're what, 33% more
It's
effective?
not worth the 14 that they're saying that other thing there, but they're worth the 12 for sure.
Hey, are you attacking Netherlands?
yeah. Yeah.
Like pencil. It's too bad he's got $150 in his pocket. He's gonna be able to put down lots of stuff. Although he can't put anything down unless he pays down his.
I can put down my Volkstrom amount and I can rail 4 units in there too. Right?
I suppose.
Yep. And the Italians are there too still. So. Okay. I think that's all I can bring in there, sadly.
There wasn't a fort there that you built, right?
No, the fort was in Belgium.
Alright.
Yeah. Any aircraft can't come in, can they? Is
Yeah.
cannon fodder?
Yeah.
They can?
Well, they got to go in to attack him. I suppose. Yeah, they could go in for no reason.
And use this cannon fodder?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Why not?
if I can, I will. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm still haven't finished my buys though, but I just want to do the, because, see, so SS right here, I got a question here. I can, if I'm building heavy armor, can I make them SS at the end of this turn, or does that work? Because Germany may upgrade 3 advanced armors.
Yeah, I always read that to be you had to have it to begin with, and that's why you have to keep on top of that card. Right?
Yeah, no, that's fine. So I want to know what the rules are, or what we
Yeah,
stipulate.
like it's upgrade them, not build them, right?
Okay, so I can't build them and then upgrade them because I thought the upgrading was at the end part. But when is the
Both of them.
technically upgrading is when do you upgrade at the beginning of the turn?
At the end,
At the end of the turn? Yep.
but you also place at the end of the turn, right?
And just to clarify here, only if this is lost. So this is only in this situation.
Yeah, if you lost that much
Yeah.
money.
So in 1945, you can't really do anything then.
There's a bunch of, yeah, like what you do is you have to make sure that you put up, but you lost that much stuff here in Western Germany for
Yeah.
sure, right?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying though, right? Because this only says only if it's lost 15 IPV. So there's nothing.
But you
in
have
45. I haven't lost. I only lost 4 IPV. Or actually, I only lost 2.
No. Worth of units. You lost tons of units in
Oh,
Western Germany.
worth of land units or more. Okay, I see.
Not worth of land. That would
Yeah.
be tough to lose $15 worth of land.
So I did do that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I was wondering. Okay, so I misread that. So I can upgrade these then.
yeah, you can.
So then I do get this free German SS infantry in Warsaw then, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I'll have to do that too. But I'll do that at the end of the turn with whatever units I have left.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. But I
That's you don't have to upgrade the guy in there. You just get it, right?
that's a free one. But these ones here, I gotta
Yeah.
keep some money around.
Yeah, you gotta keep
So I'm
them
gonna
upkeep.
keep. Well, she should just have that up. Yeah, bear with me here. This is a big turn. So
All right then. So we'll come back.
if Gar wants to
Later.
do his turn,
And the guns have fallen silent here at the Lions Den. It was a great game. As with all the games that I've played, it was a unique game. That's what I like about this as opposed to the other game, is that something different, something completely different happens in every game. For this game, China looked different to me than anybody else. Like you look at China now, and the KMT's making a comeback. They were not in the game at all. The communists had taken them out a long time ago. But all of a sudden you look, they've got 3 aircraft there. you know, like if they had a couple more turns, they might have been able to take China back, but that didn't happen. So can you pass me that pad of paper over there, please? So we do have a winner, and that's Uncle Joe in China.
Russia.
Russia, sorry. Russia and China, that's what I meant. Russia and the CCP. So the Russians had 8 points. They had 6 points for the countries outside of Russia that aren't part of anything else. So can I see that thing there? So they had Tunis here, and they had southern Iran, and they had Warsaw. Then they had all those countries up Scandinavia there. Now they did have a bunch of countries in here, but those are part of a different thing. So you can't count them twice. And the same with here. This is an ice-free port for them, but they couldn't count that as another one. So there was those, but then they'd already lost 4 points. So here's a point here, here's a point here, and then there's a point here and a point here. So they actually had 10 points, 10 countries or territories outside of Russia that were worth a point, but they had to subtract those ones. I don't think anybody else had to subtract for their home territories. Russia's the one that's the hardest one to hang on to the home territories. So they won anyway. Good job for Joe, Uncle Joe. That was his first game. The CCP didn't get any points. Next was the, I guess the good guys, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was us. So the USA got 3 points. Do you remember what they were?
Yeah.
They had twice the capital ships for sure. There's this one, and there's 100 of them over here, and they only had one for the Japanese. There was one for the Monroe Doctrine. So there's nobody on North and South America except for the British, and they're part of the same alliance. And what was the other point you got?
We maintained the American Empire.
Oh yeah, that's right. He managed to get back all the American territories here. So when he took Philippines on the last turn, then he got that. So that was 3 points for the Americans, and 1 point for the KMT, because they had, what is it, this territory here, Formosa, and Jay Hall. I thought that they might have gotten one but they had to have wiped out these guys here. They just couldn't reach these guys, the communists. Otherwise, that would have been another point for them, and that would have tied the game. The UK didn't get any points because I didn't see Panzer King was this is the battleship that you get at the start of the game on the card, and I didn't see him moving it along, so he was able to put that back on. I thought I was going to get a point for having the capital ship in here, but he was also building that capital ship that I didn't notice, so that's my bad. You've got to notice those things, right? But Anzac did get their point because there's no enemy units in New Zealand or Australia, and there's no ships down here in the Netherlands, East Indies. Japan didn't get any points because the Americans and the Anzac and the British conspired to take all of the points away that they could. Like Japan still has a lot of these islands, but those ones weren't worth the points. We concentrated on the ones with the points, but there was nothing we could do about the Russians. In the next game, version 3, the way this game was played, then we could have declared war on the Russians at some point, but in this game, unless Tokyo or Berlin falls, we couldn't. So there was nothing we could do about that one as far as that. France did get a point as well because there's no communists touching the French borders here. So that's 1 point for the French. They got one more point than the British did. But not like these guys, they got their point as well because all their stuff that was worth a point, they had that all, so that was a point for them. So Germany got 3 points. What was their 3 points, Panzer King?
So they had, what did they have? They had, yes, Yugoslavia and Greece. That was one victory point. And
Oh, they had more than 50. Here you
yeah,
go.
and they had more 50 income. And I'm actually drawing a blank. I can't remember what the other one was. Home country. They had all that. Yeah, they just had one of that, wherever the German card is. But yeah, those two right there, Yugoslavia and Greece was one. They were close to this one, but unfortunately Russia just blitzed into Warsaw there. Had Warsaw not fallen, it would have stayed the same. But
What?
The Spanish Civil War.
oh yes,
the
and the
Spanish
Spanish Civil War, which Italy and Germany both got. Yeah. So my personal just take on it. I enjoyed the game. This was a distraction, Atlantis. I was just glad we played it because obviously things just changed drastically differently. But I was able to play the Africa Corps, which I still loved, even though there's no victory points down here for the Germans. It's just a fun little expansion to kind of represent World War II. But Germany, despite not getting the victory points and basically coming in third as part of their Axis partners, still did take the Middle East, Turkey, Egypt, and most of Sub-Saharan Africa all the way down again, and they even had South Africa at one time too. So, and they still have their little colonies here from the Vichy attack, and even when the Graf Spee landed troops there. So, at the end of the day, you know what? It is what it is, and Rome didn't fall, and I'm happy about that. But
the Italians got 3 points.
And the Italians dropped this transport here into Kiev just to steal that extra point and also to get 3 more bucks back. It wasn't going to last, but it was the end of the war. Why not do it? I was debating whether to move him wherever. He could have even helped out Italian troops trying to take back the Netherlands. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy. I got more victory points than I did last game that I played with Rankarkus, Joe, and General Hand Grenades. So,
Yeah, you were pretty much out of that game after about the first.
yeah, Russia fell very quickly.
You had your cup of coffee, and that was
Yeah,
it.
that was about it.
Give it to Uncle Joe. He can tell us how to win.
Don't look to me for advice. I'm pretty sure I got lucky on this one. But, yeah, it's a great game. Had a great time playing with these guys. Das Vidania.
All right. So, let's give Dan a chance to talk about it first, and then I'll do the wrap up. Okay?
Yeah. So I picked up with the Americans, I guess, halfway through the game. I think General Hand Grenade kind of explained sort of what happened in the Pacific on the last turn. It was a wild scramble to get all our victory points back, and I was able to maneuver China to get a couple victory points for them and resurrect them. In Europe, I was able to also take back Belgium and do a one-man landing operation in Paris.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
I took all my aircraft and was able to take back Paris with the 555th
Yeah.
Airborne. And hopefully France will come back from that one day.
Yeah.
I know, great game.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody had a great time and good players. Like you can tell that everybody is really engaged in this game and that they're going to be really good players. Like Dan, he's just new to town. He commented on the first video in this series. I'm going to make a series playlist to put all the videos for this game in. He commented on that first game and said, "Hey, can I play?" And here he is now,
Yeah.
coming in second place. So he picked the game up really quick. Like he saw some points there that I didn't see for the Chinese especially, and he did a really good job. That attack in Paris was amazing. Like one of the things you see here, the units that are left on the board, they're except for the Russians, the Japanese, and the Germans, and then also the battleship there for the Italians. Nobody purchased anything. Like there's no point, right? You spend all that time purchasing stuff and then placing it, and it doesn't do any good. Plus, you get kind of gamey on the last turn. So we have no Air Force left because we were taking them as casualties. Seriously, that airborne guy that's in the American airborne guy came from New York City. He flew all the way over there. One airborne guy. He's the only land troop. There was a shit ton of guys there, right? And a fortification
Yep.
on Paris. He literally lost his entire Air Force. Actually, you did have two tactical bombers left there. You see those 2 tactical bombers up there. You had the 2 tactical bombers and the airborne guy left. It was. I said, no, you'll never get that. That's just a dumb move. But Dan knew. He knew he had the dice. He was going to do it, right? So what else? The Japanese player, we kind of teed off on him. Like it's not easy to break into Germany. Germany is so compact and everything, whereas Japan is spread out, right? So we couldn't really go after the Germans. We weren't allowed to go after the Russians. But the reason the Japanese didn't get any points is because they're vulnerable with everything that's going on. And probably America spent probably close to 2/3 of their money on the Pacific side of the board, as opposed to this side of the board. And for good reason. Like, wouldn't have mattered if we spent twice as much for the Americans over here. You just don't have enough time to get into Berlin. So if Berlin was on the coast, then you could do some sort of amphibious assault. But because it's inland, first you gotta land, and then you gotta go and get Berlin. But with all the Volkssturm and militia that he can put on, it's virtually impossible to do that. The Eastern Front, there wasn't much of a battle here until the end. I think that Panzerking put too much stock in going down into Africa. He spent a lot of his money down there. And because of that, on the last turn, like the Russians, they were spending all their money here. So they were able to make that push here. That was the difference in the game. If you look at it, like Germany could have had that extra point or two here, and 2 points off for the Russians, and then Germany and the Axis would have won the game. But it was that critical mistake there where he spent too much money down in Africa and not enough on the Eastern Front that lost the game for the Axis. But I mean, anybody can make that mistake, right? You could say that the Allies could have won if they'd done this or that, right? So that's just the way it goes. Again, like if Japan had put a little bit more on this front here, that would have given them a point. But that was not enough. Like if you combine that with some more Germans here. But then who knows? Like if you take those points off, then maybe the Allies do better. So it's hard to say. What I can say though is that this is a great game. It's a much better game than any Axis and Allies version that I've played. Just in the fact that there's so many different things that can happen in this game. So many more territories and sea zones, and the rules make so many more things possible, right? That it's so hard to predict. Like we were talking yesterday, with only 2 turns left, nobody knew what was going to happen, who was going to win the game. And literally, when we got here this morning, it could have went any way, depending on who attacked what. And it just so happened that the Russians came out 1 point better than the Allies, and the Allies were 1 point better than the Axis. So I think that's the closest game that I've been involved in, where first to third was a difference of 2 points. Usually in the games that I've played, one side has only gotten 1 point or 2 points, and another side has gotten way too many points, and then the third side's in the middle. But this is definitely the closest game that I've been involved in as far as 36 goes. And for me, this might be the last game of version 2 that I play. Unless I come to your house in Florida, send me an invitation and a plane ticket, or somewhere else nice and warm in the cold white north here, then I'll come down and play you on your version 2 board. Otherwise, I've already got the version 3 board set up at my house, and I'll be playing that game from now on. It's much similar to this game, but it's got some updates to it and some better rules, and I can tell already, and played one game and played around with it as well. It is going to be make this game even better. So this could be my last version 2 game ever, unless I get that plane ticket. Don't forget about me. Anybody else got anything to say? So, on Remembrance Day here in Canada, the guns fall silent in the Lion's Den.